J. Edgar Hoover, right? He said, man, black unity is the worst thing that can happen to America, right? But our people are so afraid of America, so afraid of the white man, so afraid of being persecuted. They'll say, you know what? I'm not going to go congregate on the Sabbath with the Israelites. I'm not going to keep my nationality as an Israelite. I'm going to stay in here. I'm going to get high. I ain't going to do nothing else. Why? Because it's safe. As a kid, let's say he was your dad, right? He would teach you these. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying, let's say if he was, the things you would teach your kids like Israel, right, would be like commandments of the Bible. Because if I ask you what a commandment was, give me a commandment. What you got on your mind? Right, that's one. Give me a commandment. Give me a commandment. You don't know any? Y'all go to church? How old are you? 6? How old are you? 6? 10? You know the commandments? You know any commandments? Your mama taught you any commandments? You don't know any? I'm going to give y'all some. Here's one. Go to... Hey, Jude, you don't kick her now. She's a little kid. You going to knock her over, man. Yeah, come on, Jude. You got to do better than that, bro. Hey, give me the Sabbath, right? Here's an easy commandment, right? Because a lot of the times we have, the 10 commandments. And a lot of times on the 10 commandments they have thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. And one big one is keep the Sabbath holy, right? How do you do that? Rest on that day. Okay, what's another one? Don't do nothing. Don't work.
Do everything the day before, so you ain't gotta do that.
Okay, that's good. Y'all parents ever taught y'all the Sabbath? Great question. I knew you didn't teach. That's why I asked you that. So the Sabbath is, you say, yeah. So the Sabbath is the day that God chose for all of us to keep holy, right? Because a lot of times your parents go to church on Sunday, right? Yeah. But you're supposed to go to church on Saturday. So, okay. Yeah. Just let me run just a few more scriptures so you know how to keep the Sabbath when you leave, right? So read that real quick.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
What's up, dude? You got a question? Okay.
My mama keep her Bible open, but she don't read.
Okay. Does she read it? Ask her these questions.
Open on the 24th.
Okay. Ask her to read this till you get home. So God said the Sabbath is you work 6 days. What's the first day of the week? Sunday, right? The last day of the week is Saturday, David. So from Sunday to Friday sundown, you can work, right? But Saturday is a day you're supposed to rest. Like you said, you got to rest that one day, right? So Exodus 20 and 8 will tell you that. You writing it down so you know for later? Okay. All right. So Exodus, right? This is where you find the 10 commandments, but you find a whole bunch of other commandments in the Bible, right? So 6 days you work. So tell your mom, say, hey, Mom, I learned something about the Sabbath today, okay? So this guy in purple and gold said, this is how we supposed to keep the Sabbath. You got a flyer? You got one of the papers right there? You got one? You don't got one. But, so 6 days you work, 7th day you rest, like you said, right? Another one is what? You're not supposed to cook on the Sabbath, right? So like you said, you get that first day, that Friday before sundown or Thursday, take the extra day to get ready. Cook what you're going to cook for the Sabbath. Hold it up. If you're going to eat, yeah, you go ahead and eat it, but the day before, right? Because, yeah, you don't got to do nothing that day. That's the day you're supposed to rest, right? But in this captivity that we in, what's up, man? I see you again. But in this captivity that we in, hey, hold on real quick, bro. Go back over there for a second. Yeah, go back over there for a second. But in this captivity that we in, as men, we don't get that chance to what? Fully rest like we need to, because why? People want to work. People want to go to football games, movies. And they go break the Sabbath, right? Because God got judgments. Y'all know what judgment is? Like a punishment, right? You know what God's punishment is for breaking the Sabbath? Like a chastiser. But you know what his punishment is for breaking the Sabbath? He kills you.
Right.
Because the Sabbath is a very special day that God made between us and him, right? So when we broke that promise, God said, since you broke this promise, I'm going to kill you. Let me show you an example. Read it.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath.
So today, let's say like day was a Sabbath, right? Let's say it's not the Sabbath is not today, but let's say if it was, right? Let's say the day was Saturday, and Juju was over there picking up sticks, right? He about to do something with the sticks, right? Now remember, you're not supposed to be doing nothing on the Sabbath. You ever heard of Sabbath, brother? What's your name?
Marquez.
Marquez, nice to meet you. I'm Ezra. So right now we're going on the Sabbath, and why God made it a certain way? Because I asked them, well, you know God commandments, right? You know you know about God commandments. So if you break one of God's commandments, what's going to happen?
It's a sin.
It's a sin, right?
Yeah.
Is there a judgment behind that breaking the commandment?
Yeah.
So right now I'm talking about what happens if you break God's Sabbath, right? And the judgment is He kills you for breaking the Sabbath. Read.
Verse 32. And while the children of Israel in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day.
So we saw Juju right here picking up sticks on the Sabbath, right? He just picking all the sticks up. He's not supposed to be working, but Juju like, you know what? I'm gonna pick these sticks up. I'm gonna do, right? Read.
And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron.
So imagine we see Juju picking up all these sticks, right? And all of us like, what are you doing? It's a Sabbath. You're not supposed to be working. You're not supposed to be cooking. And we all just grab them and take them to the leadership, right? The elders. We say, hey man, we saw Juju picking up sticks on the Sabbath, right? Read.
And to all the congregation. And they put him in ward.
So they put him in ward, meaning like you put him like a holding area, right? We say, hey, just hold Juju right here because we don't know what to do with him. We never seen nobody do this before. This is something different. We never seen nobody just picking up sticks on the Sabbath because we all understand what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do, right? Read.
Because it was not declared what should be done to him. And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death.
So God said, kill the man that broke the Sabbath.
Yeah.
So I asked him, I asked David, I asked Juju, I asked, you just got back, K-Ron just came back. I asked, what's your name again? Denia. I said, what day you go to church on? What day is it?
Sunday.
Sunday, right? That's what the world teaches, right?
Yeah.
That's what this guy right here. This man right here. This what this man say. He said you go to church on Sunday. But God said you go to church on a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not going to church or keeping the commandments the right way, are you breaking the commandment?
Yeah.
And remember, the judgment for breaking the Sabbath is what?
Yeah.
Death, right?
Yeah.
Lucky for us, we got Christ that died to give us grace to learn how to like practice it, get it right, you know, just like a kid. He not gonna get it right all the time. You see he over here doing a reject, right?
Yeah.
She trying to blow a nose. He don't know where he at. He just over there hanging out. You have to teach him how to do things, right? So just like that, God gonna teach us how to do things. And give us a space and time to learn how to do it right. And we're gonna mess up, bump our head sometimes. But when that grace period over with, that same judgment's gonna come back, right? So far, how to keep the Sabbath is what? You're not supposed to work, you're not supposed to cook.
Yeah.
Another one is you're not supposed to buy or sell. Because everybody buys stuff on Saturday, right? You go into the store, all the deals are on Saturday and Friday, right?
Yeah.
She want all her toys. She's like, Mama, give me this toy. It's on sale. Give me a toy, right? What's your name right here with the hat? That's your brother? That look alike. What's your name? Huh? King?
King David.
Okay, King David. I got you. Oh, this King? Ain't nothing wrong being wrong. Your name King?
King Davis.
King. No, not wrong be called King David. Man, King David was a great man. He was an Israelite. Read. Get cooking. Buying something.
Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we will not buy of it on the Sabbath, or excuse me.
Dang, try to read that again, man. Got a stumbling, right?
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell.
Ware and victuals is like stuff you sell, right? Like that hat he got on. That's a wear, right? Or his blades are victuals and stuff. His skates are like victuals. They come sell those things, right? They would try to come sell those things to us on the Sabbath day when they're not supposed to. And we would reject them. Why? Because we understand what? You're not supposed to buy or sell on the Sabbath, right? Because all these things, God holds very dear to him and us. Because does God love everybody? You believe that? All right, God love everybody? God love everybody. Hold that thought, because when God made the Sabbath, he only made it between the Israelites, these guys right here, these 12 tribes,
Yeah, only him.
those 12, and him. He never made the covenant with the Sabbath with the whole world,
No.
right?
Just only us people.
Just the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's the only people, right? So, finish it. What you got right here? Yeah, finish reading that out. Read it.
And if the people of the land beware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we will not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day.
So the Sabbath is Saturday, but the holy days are like, right now it's Passover. On the first day of Passover, it's a holy day. And then the last day of Passover is a Sabbath, right? You're not supposed to buy, sell. You're not supposed to do those things. So that law applies to all the high holy days, right? So what you're not supposed to do, you're not supposed to buy, sell. You're not supposed to work. You're not supposed to cook. And you're supposed to congregate on the Sabbath, right? So get Hebrews 10:25. So, like I asked you, I said, does God love everybody, right? You said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, yeah. So when you congregating on the Sabbath, what are you supposed to be doing as a nation? You're supposed to be learning the Bible. You're supposed to be going over scriptures. You're supposed to be learning how to understand what God wants us to do, right?
Right.
Because a lot of times when we're in church, we just learn about this man. What's his name? Marvin Sapp just now. He said, hey, man, I said, close the doors. Close the doors. He said, I'm going to get $40,000 out here today. But you're not learning nothing. You just got robbed for $40,000 with $20. But as a nation, as a group, collective, you just got robbed for $40,000.
Right.
And you ask the man, so what's my nationality in the Bible? Hey, man, this man right here love you, man. That's all that matter. All right, hurry up, man. We got to teach you the Bible. Hurry up. So you going to learn what this man said. Man, this white man right here, he love you, man. This man right here, he gave you the world, man. He love you. He don't care what you do as long as you believe in him. Also, close them doors and give me my money. Right? The system is built off of that. You see what I'm saying? America is built off of that. America don't teach us the true image of Christ, right? It teaches us what? The image of the beast. Because that's what this is. You ever heard the image of the beast? This what that, when you hear that, this is what it's talking about. Mr. Caesar.
That's right.
Caesar Bo, the old gay man. The gay man that raped his mama, did some other gay stuff, killed somebody, and did something else. So you're aware of what this lie is, right? So in churches, read Hebrews 10:25. In churches, when you congregate on the Sabbath or you congregate at any time, you're supposed to learn something, right? Read.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 25. Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is.
Because some people don't like getting together, right? What? Who was it? He said black unity is the worst threat to America. Who said that? I can't.
J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover, right? He said, man, black unity is the worst thing that can happen to America, right? But our people are so afraid of America, so afraid of the white man, so afraid of being persecuted. They'll say, you know what? I'm not going to go congregate on the Sabbath with the Israelites. I'm not going to keep my nationality as an Israelite. I'm going to stay in here. I'm going to get high. I ain't going to do nothing else. Why? Because it's safe. It's knowing who you are as an Israelite and your day-to-day not knowing who you are is two drastically different things, right? Because now America's not looking for you like, oh, you teach the people that they're Israelites? Kill him. Throw rocks at him. Put him in jail. When you sleep, they're like, he harmless. He like a baby. You know, just give him some good music, give him some weed, and give him a refund check. He'll shut the hell up, right? But yeah, they threw flashbangs at us overseas, teaching the Bible. The government, bang, everything, right? Rocks, flashbangs, because we teaching these things, right? We teaching that you're the Israelite. We teaching that you have to keep the commandments. We teaching that you have to gather together as that nation, right? Read.
Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more, as you see the day approaching.
Because we need that, unity to keep ourselves going, because you came for work today?
Yeah.
You tired as hell, ain't it?
Yeah.
But it's different when you tired as hell and you got no support system, like a nation of support system. I'm not saying like your family or like a friend or something like that. No, I'm talking about a like-minded group of men, women, and kids trying to get God's kingdom to what? Exhort you. Right. Because on the Sabbath, when you congregate, it's a spiritual thing, man. So when everybody get together, they spirit feel rejuvenated. It's like, okay, we got this. We exhort each other every time we see each other, right? Like, hey, man, it's going to be a long week. Hey, keep sending up prayers for you, man. We're going to be with you. If you need us, call me, et cetera, right? You need that system. You can't do this by yourself, right? Because a lot of times our people find themselves in a hopeless situation. You kind of like, you have them days, you might be like, damn, man, hey, it's not working, right? But in reality, if you understood who you were, you'll know how to handle those things, right? You better pick the phone up and be like, hey man, I'm going through today, man. Just need somebody to talk to. Because a lot of times the men in our communities don't have nobody to talk to. They don't have no like-minded men to be like, that's trying to help you at least. To get you through that thing, right? Because we all go through it. We all got captivity. We all going through these things. Right. But to learn how to have the hope and the patience, we have to what? Keep the commandments. As a whole, as a nation, right? What you got? Yeah, read it.
Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 13. But exhort one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
Right. Because the deceitfulness of sin is what? Breaking God's commandments. Like one was, how you doing, man? Doing good. One of the things are what? Breaking the Sabbath, right? That's what? Breaking the commandment. You're in the midst of sin, because all sin is what? The transgression of God's laws or breaking God's law. Let's get that from real quick. So you can have, when you get home, you be like, okay, that man said something about 1 John 3 and 4 real quick. So I know. And then I'm going to show you that God don't love everybody, because that's important to know. Okay. It sounds crazy to say that, like out loud. It's like, hey man, God don't. Yeah, that's it right there. He only love these people, right? Because they may say, I'm going to line it up right for you. Read John, 1 John.
1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is a transgression of the law.
So sin is the breaking of laws. Transgressions mean to break, right? Not keep, whatever word you want to place right there. That means to not do something. That's what he means by you in the midst of sin. Because when people say, I'm in the midst of sin, you say, what sin you in? I don't know. That's like saying, hey man, I'm guilty for committing a crime. What crime you commit? I don't know. So you want me to do to you? I mean, I think I should be in jail, right? I mean, you should be, but I don't know what you did.
Like the
right?
blind leading the blind.
Blind leading the blind, right? The pastors at the church ain't gonna tell you, hey man, this is sin. They shave their head bald. They got the baby face. They gay. What else is it? Whatever else you want. They hucksters. They thieves. They hustlers. Closing doors. Dang near kidnap charges on them. You know what I'm saying? You got Eddie. What's his name? Is it Eddie Long? Eddie Long? No, is it Eddie Long? No, what's the one that said the swallow dude? What's his name? TD Jakes. You got TD Jakes. That dude. He got millions of dollars doing types of all crazy type of wickedness, right? Hang with P. Diddy and whatnot. All those things. That's the men that people look to lead them. You see a problem with that? It's a problem, right?
Oh yeah.
Shit crazy. Read.
Definitely a problem.
Now, get John 3:16, right? Because this is a scripture where you're gonna hear this all the time. It's crazy that somebody calling you right now at this part. This is the most important. This is one of the most important parts, right? You need to understand these things, right? Hey, appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. Be safe, man. Yes, sir. Read John 3:16.
This is the book of John, chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
What that mean? Just off of hearing it, what does that mean?
Well, you walk in the way he wanted you and do what he wanted. Goddamn, your life and you live freely in righteousness.
Right.
While you're here, and then you come to have a seat with him.
Okay. I heard that's the first time I heard that one break down, but that's a very interesting way of breaking it down, right? Because a lot of times our people use it for what? God, he died for everybody, right? But the Bible has a way of explaining itself, right? The Bible, Isaiah 28. So the Bible tells you how to break things down, because to the untrained ear, it just sounds like what? God love everybody, that's it, we keep pushing, right? But who was Christ talking to during that time? Yeah, he's talking to Nicodemus, the king of the Jews, which is who? Us, right? So if I'm talking to you and we brothers, we talking, I say, hey man, we gotta get the people together. Am I talking about everybody? I'm talking about black people.
I'm talking about black people.
So it's the same thing we're here, right?
Yeah.
So the whole world thing, because I promise you, I've tried. You could try to read this. You could try to read this thing 1,000 times backwards from verse 1 to 16. It is literally impossible to make it say that. To make that make sense, it's impossible to make it do that. Go ahead and read it.
Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept.
So a precept is like a scripture, right? So the understanding for John 3:16, right? When we get back to it, it's gonna say, so he loved the world. I'm gonna explain to you who he loved. I'm gonna explain to you who the world is. We're gonna explain what it means to believe. We're gonna explain to whosoever. We're gonna do all those things, right? For you to what? Grasp what it's actually saying, right? Because at face value, it's very confusing. Meaning, you can make it say what you want to say if you don't got the way to like break it down right. Right. Read.
Line upon line. Line upon line.
Because if I ask you what verse 14 say, what verse 14 say? John 3 verse 14, what that say? Yeah. You're right. No, that's everybody do that. That's the trick. Because our people love, I'm saying you in particular, but our people love John verse 3:16, right? But you ask them, hey, what John 3:14 say? Crickets. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
Because when in reality, have you ever read one line in a big old book like this and say that's what the whole book about?
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, because it means
Teach.
you could read something in a different page and then it break it down in a different way.
Right, it'll explain it different, right? Because you don't read no history book or any story like Harry Potter, right? You don't jump to the middle of the book and be like, yeah, this one sentence right here is about the whole book.
Yeah.
No, you sound stupid.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Go back and read. Right, like you said, read.
Hear a little.
So, we got you. Watch this.
John chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world.
Who did God love? His people. Let's get that. Deuteronomy 7:6, right? So God loved the world of who? Israel, right? Because Christ was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Paul was an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. All the disciples Israelites. There's not been a time ever in the Bible where a so-called white person, Asian, Chinese, well, that's the same thing. Indian, like East Indian, not like Native American, but like East Indian, like the dot on the head. Thank you, come again. Gas station, right? They've never been a prophet in the Bible, right? Muhammad not a prophet. He was a camel driver. He don't know how to read or write, and he's read
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So God is saying, I choose the Israelites. Was that verse 1 that says the Israelites? Oh, that's something different. But he says he chose the Israelites to be a special people unto himself, right? Because Deuteronomy is written to the Israelites, right? You can read verse 1, it'll tell you that Moses talking to the Israelites.
Verse 8.
We're going to keep reading though. Yeah, we're going to keep reading. But God said, I chose you to be special to me.
Right.
If I say, you got any kids? Your kids are special to you, right? You love your kids. If you've been raising your kids all your life, and then this random other kid come out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, I'm your son too. You're gonna be like, it's kind of weird. Let's say a random white kid come to you, hey, what's up, Dad? You're gonna be like, nah. But you say you love everybody. That's not what I said. I do love everybody, all my people, and my kids, right? Because if you're in a house with your kids, and you say, I love everybody, you talking about the whole world, you talking about your kids inside the house.
Yeah, this is inside the circle
You,
right here.
you see what I'm saying? The Bible is very common sense, but people understand that our people don't read the Bible. They don't want to learn the Bible, so they try to trick them.
But because the Lord loved you.
What?
Because the Lord loved you.
Because he loved us, he kept those promises to us, right? Now go back to John 3:16, right? So when Christ saying, hey, he's saying, for God so loved the world, he talking about this. He quoting something, right? Because the New Testament wasn't around when Christ was walking around. There was no Mark, Matthew, Luke, John, Acts, Romans. Those didn't exist when Christ was walking around the earth. So what he reading from? The Old Testament. So what he gonna do? He gonna quote certain things from the Old Testament, right? Read.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
He said, so God loved the world. What do you mean by world? Is the world the whole world? If I ask you what the world is, what you gonna tell me? Is that just like the whole world, the entire world, the earth? The entire world? You know we're reading, right? John 3 verse 16, that's what we're reading right now. God said, for he loved the world. We read already that love is Israel, the Israelites, these guys right here. Crash course, you an Israelite? You black, Jamaican, Haitian? You don't know? You just know you black.
I think he's black.
You black? Are you black?
Yeah.
So you from the tribe of Judah? So you're Israelite from the tribe of Judah, right? This happened to us in slavery because we didn't keep the commandments. Slavery happened. The way we get out of slavery is we keep the commandments so God redeem us, right? Crash course for you so you can kind of get your speed up, right? That fly going to tell you more about it when you get home. Read it. But right now we're going to John 3:16, right? To give you an understanding that how special you are, right? Read.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
Get the world, Isaiah 45. So the world, like I said, the Bible will explain itself, right? Because it's very easy to make it say what it say without no decoder, I guess is the word. Read.
Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation.
So the Israelites, you, us, shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation if we keep the commandments. But he calls us something, right? Read.
Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded.
Why? Because we can prove that the Bible only for us. And once you can prove it, why should you be ashamed of it? God has caused the world, right? You heard it. It said Israel shall be a what? A world without end. Meaning that we ain't never going away. Right? Read. Yeah.
John chapter 18 and verse 20. Jesus answered him, I spake openly to the world.
Did Jesus talk to the whole world at one time? The entire planet. Did Jesus ever at one point stay in one place and say, the entire world of 6 billion people listen to my voice? Did he ever do that? No. So can the world mean the entire world right here?
No.
It has to mean what? Something else. You got the sea world, you got the sports world, you got the movie world, you got the gaming world, football world, all those things, right? You got all those worlds, just like how he used the world here in Isaiah 45. He's just saying it again in what? John. That world didn't change. That world is still Israel. You understand? Read.
I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple.
Where what?
Whether the Jews always resort.
He said the Jews are the world that I teach in the synagogues. But these are Jews. That's the Jews. The blacks. He ain't talk to the whole world. There wasn't no long stringy hair gay white man talking to people in the hood. That's not, because I asked you a question. You see any of them coming out here talk to y'all? The same thing he was doing back then we doing now. The prophets come back to where their people reside and teach them who they are, whether they're here for bear. But you don't see no long string hair white man coming out here talking about, hey, God love everybody. Stop killing each other. They're not doing that. What they doing? F them niggas. Yeah. They right in the hood, kill them in the hood. Yeah. But we out here trying to change our people's mind to get them what? To change to who they are and get the kingdom. All we need is one. We don't need everybody. We need, God said got 1/3. So 1 out of every 3 people is going to get to heaven by keeping the commandments. Right? Read.
And in secret have I said nothing.
Right. Go ahead, John 3.
John chapter 3 and verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have an everlasting life.
So let's get to whosoever, right? The whosoever, people say, what, that mean everybody, right? It can be anybody. Whosoever. The Bible, like I brought out earlier, will explain to you exactly what it's saying. There's really no mystery to it. It's a mystery we don't keep the commandments. But once you keep the commandments, everything starts making sense, right? Read it.
Acts chapter 2 and verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord.
That's that word, whosoever, right? Let's figure who he's talking about.
Shall be saved.
Because we just read, whosoever believe in God shall have eternal life, right? So he's saying the same thing he just said in what? John 3 verse 16. He's just saying the same thing. Read.
Ye men of Israel.
Wait, say it again.
Ye men of Israel.
Everybody.
Ye men of Israel.
So who's those whosoever? Yeah, the tribes of Israel. That's who it is. He said, whosoever you men of Israel. He's not saying the whole world. It's never been about the whole world. You understand? So in this, you understand that what? That you're God's chosen people. You understand that he came for you.
What is the nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation